Lewis Hamilton didn't just leave a team when he left Mercedes. He left a way of life. And now, halfway through the 2025 season, that departure is starting to look like a brutal awakening. The car is different. The culture is different. And the results, let's just say they're not what anyone expected from a seven-time world champion. But here's the real kicker. It's not just pundits, ex-drivers, or the Italian press pointing this out. It's coming from a 19-year-old rookie who grew up watching Hamilton dominate. Isack Hadjar, the Racing Bulls newcomer making waves this year, says something few have dared to. Maybe Hamilton's biggest enemy in red is the man he became in silver. In an interview with Mundo Deportivo, Hadjar didn't mince words. While he praised Hamilton as a genius behind the wheel and an idol from his childhood, he also drew a sharp line between a young driver's adaptability and a veteran's deeply ingrained habits. Having habits is the worst thing, Hadjar said. And when you've spent over a decade driving for Mercedes, with one engine philosophy, one chassis design language, and one way of working, those habits run deep. But what exactly are the old Mercedes instincts that might be haunting Hamilton at Ferrari? And how has a rookie like Hadjar managed to adjust so seamlessly while a legend is still searching for his footing? That's what we're breaking down right now. When Lewis Hamilton stepped into the SF25, he didn't just inherit a different car. He entered a fundamentally different driving philosophy. Ferrari's 2025 machine demands a new kind of trust, especially in corner entry and mid-corner balance. Unlike the Mercedes W14 and W15, which Hamilton helped develop into razor-sharp tools for late braking and rear-end stability, the SF25 requires earlier rotation, more neutral throttle modulation, and, critically, a looser rear that rewards drivers willing to dance on the edge. For a driver who spent over a decade optimizing brake shapes, turn-in response, and ERS deployment the Mercedes way, these micro-adjustments are not minor. The telemetry shows a trend. Hamilton is consistently losing time in Sector 2, particularly in medium-speed chicanes and long-radius corners like Turn 8 in Suzuka and Turn 11 in Barcelona. These are zones where Ferrari's aero platform is most sensitive to throttle input and steering angle, and as traces suggest, he's carrying the same braking markers and minimum speed targets from the W15, which simply don't suit the SF25's weight distribution and rake setup. Even his ERS deployment maps appear unchanged from his late Mercedes career, prioritizing top-speed exits rather than mid-corner power band stabilization, something Hadjar has adapted to more rapidly. The issue isn't raw speed. Hamilton still has the precision, the reflexes, the tactical nous. But Formula One isn't about instinct alone. It's about unlearning as quickly as you learn. And the cost of holding on to an outdated reference point, even subconsciously, is measured in tenths. For Hadjar, who switched from Formula 2 to a completely different chassis philosophy without baggage, the process was fluid. For Hamilton, the transformation requires not just physical adjustment, but a rewiring of the instincts that made him great in the first place. The raw data may tell us where Hamilton is losing time, but it doesn't tell us how deeply the struggle is cutting behind closed doors at Maranello. There's an emotional weight in every debrief, every headset exchange, every media scrum. This isn't just another season gone sideways. This is a seven-time world champion grappling with the reality that his legacy is being reshaped, not by retirement, but by reinvention. Inside Ferrari, the mood is delicate. There's immense respect for Hamilton, but also an unspoken tension. Charles Leclerc has grown up as Ferrari's golden son, and though their relationship is publicly warm, there's a competitive undercurrent neither man can ignore. Ferrari won't admit it, but they're already approaching a fork in the road. Do they double down on the driver delivering now, or wait for a legend to recalibrate on his own timeline? Meanwhile, McLaren and Red Bull are in full stride. Norris looks more confident than ever, and Verstappen, despite a few uncharacteristic wobbles, remains the measuring stick. The midfield is tightening too. Racing Bulls and Aston Martin are regularly poaching points, making every Q2 exit or strategic misstep more costly. For Hamilton, the opportunity window is shrinking. Street circuits like Singapore and high downforce venues like Zandvoort could favor his smoother driving style, but only if he unlearns the braking cues and torque assumptions that worked in a Mercedes. The question isn't whether he still has the talent. It's whether the future of Ferrari will be built around him, or whether it's already slipping quietly into the hands of a younger man. Because in Formula One, legacy buys you headlines, but only performance earns you development priority. Regardless of how the rest of the 2025 season unfolds, this chapter will permanently reshape Lewis Hamilton's legacy, not as a blemish, but as a reckoning. The move to Ferrari was never just about winning races. It was about rewriting the story of a driver who had conquered everything, only to risk it all for something more poetic. But poetry, as it turns out, doesn't guarantee podiums. If Hamilton adapts, finds synergy with the SF25, and reasserts himself as a frontrunner, it will be hailed as one of the great second acts in Formula One history. Proof that even at 40, greatness can evolve. But if this struggle continues, the narrative may harden into something more sobering. That the sport moved on faster than he expected, and that even the most brilliant instincts can become outdated in the crucible of modern F1. For Ferrari, the implications are equally profound. Their handling of Hamilton's transition, how they manage driver parity, car development, and internal dynamics, will signal whether they're still chasing legacy through nostalgia or finally ready to commit to a new generation. Because while the fans may adore the sight of Hamilton in red, the stopwatch has no sentiment. And in the relentless, forward-only world of Formula One, reputations aren't protected. They're earned. Every weekend, every sector, every corner. The question Ferrari and Hamilton both face now is simple. Can they build something enduring together?